So Gabriella sent in a question, and I like this one a lot because firstly, it's very short, it's very simple, and it's also one that I get asked a lot, probably the most often by triathletes. And the question is how to get better with my swimming. So it's quite a broad area to go at. So there's some simple fundamental principles for getting better at swimming. The first thing is, and probably the most logical, is you've got to swim regularly. So if you're only swimming once a week and you're only doing 45 minutes, the chances are that you aren't going to make a great deal of progress over time. If you're not a swimmer from a young age, so that means that you didn't go to a swim club when you were 7 or 8 and continue with that through your formative years, and you didn't learn all of those drills, then it is always much harder as an adult to learn the basic skills of swimming: body position, streamlining, tumble turns, how to do backstroke, breaststroke, front crawl effectively. I don't say butterfly there because most people don't do that anyway. And if you have learned them when you're young, then even if you have an absence from the pool of several months or years, you can usually remember them fairly quickly. It's a bit like riding a bike. For the rest of us who start as adults, you've got to start with those skills. And that means picking up some drills. Okay, now there's hundreds of drills out there. And if you go on a Facebook page and ask what the best drills are, you'll get a whole long list. In fact, you'll probably be more confused than you were when you started. The problem with that is, as well-meaning as the answers are, you are not getting drills suggested to you that reflect what's wrong with your stroke. Okay, so you could end up with a drill that means swimming with fists. So no fingers, no open palm, just a fist here. And that's great for feeling the water on the forearm here. But if you're not getting a catch properly in the first place, then doing this drill isn't going to make a great deal of difference to your stroke. You need something else. So there's a step before that. And it's this: you need to go and find a coach. And that needs to be somebody that you believe you can trust. So probably on recommendation from friends, or other swimmers. Okay, maybe it's somebody within your club. There's a lot of triathlon coaches out there who have done some basic swim courses, but I would suggest that you find somebody who's a really, really experienced swimmer. It doesn't matter if they're a pool swimmer to start with, because what you want is to learn how to swim more efficiently. You can add the open water skills on later on. Okay, so number one, find somebody who can assess your technique. And in that technique assessment, they want to identify 3 flaws of a maximum, right? Any more, and that will be overwhelming. There's also a good chance that fixing one of those flaws is going to end up fixing several of the others. So if your head is too high, that will often lead to lower legs in the water. Okay. So there's 2 flaws there, but actually, if you can swim with a lower head and tucked into your chin, that's probably going to correct in part the legs that are too low when you swim. So one fix often sorts another one out. So you get 3 flaws in your technique. They're 3 key flaws, and a good coach will be able to identify those fairly quickly. And in that first session, you also want them to suggest some drills that you do to fix those flaws and demonstrate them, or have you demonstrate them, and the coach will then tell you what to do and how many of these drills and how frequently you should be doing them in your training. Okay, so that's it. You've been to see the coach, a good coach. You've identified your key flaws, and you've now got some drills to correct them. The next step is to go back to the pool and practice these drills. And by practicing them, I mean devoting some deliberate time to them, not rushing through them so you can get to a set of threshold intervals, which you might see as the most important part of the session. Okay. It may be that you even need to have some dedicated drills only sessions, and that's fine. In order to perfect something swimming fast, you've got to perfect it swimming slowly. So drill sessions, you may have to park your ego for a little bit. You may have to drop down to a slower lane so you can swim well rather than swimming hard. But that's fine, because over time you're going to improve and you're going to get back in that lane, and you may even progress beyond that and into a faster lane. Once you have started practicing regularly, then that's it. Just stick with it. So those are the three key steps. Identify a good coach, have them identify the flaws in your technique, identify some drills to connect those, to correct those flaws. And you're looking for three flaws maximum and three drills maximum. And then go away and repeat them and repeat them and repeat them until you've mastered them. And after 4 to 6 weeks of that, make a return visit to the coach, get him to assess your progress and identify how much progress you've made and whether you are picking up the drills properly and whether it's making some changes to your technique. And that coach will hopefully then give you some more advanced drills, probably more advanced of the same sort of thing you've been doing to continue working on that technical issue. And you keep doing that and you practice and you practice and you do some endurance swimming and you practice and you do some endurance swimming and you keep going and you go to see your coach every 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever is convenient for you and whatever you can afford within your budget. And at this point, you're probably thinking, well, what about all the fast swimming? How am I going to swim fast in a race if I don't swim fast in training? Well, that can come, but remember what I said earlier, in order to master something and be able to do it well at speed, you have to master it and do it well at a slow pace. So that's what this next phase is about. And it's the perfect time of year to be doing that in the winter. Okay, because you've got no races on the immediate horizon and you can really get down to business and dig in and focus on improving your technique. And if you keep going 2 or 3 times a week, say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because it's good to have a little bit of a gap between those sessions, but it's also good to make sure that gap isn't so big that you sort of go backwards a little bit, which is what happens to most of us adults if we're not in the pool for any amount of time. And that's it. It's a simple process. So I'll just repeat that again. Find a good coach who can assess your swimming. Identify some technical flaws, three of a maximum, and then identify some drills which fix these specific flaws. And so therefore they're specific to you. And on that point, I'll just say again, there's lots of drills you could be doing out there, but there's only a handful of ones that are going to fix your specific problem. And then you just got to practice and practice frequently. And that's it. So quite a simple answer, quite a long-winded answer to a simple question. Thank you for asking it, Gabrielle. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who are thinking that, well, that's a question I wanted to ask as well. So for those of you folks who find swimming a big challenge, that is the simple pathway to swimming better.